2, 1.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to
0.
the CB33 Patch Notes Show. My name is Drybear, and joined today by... Who are you?
High-res errors.
High-res Erez. I feel like I should know that name from somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, my hair is getting grayer.
No, it's not.
Holy shit.
It's just the lighting.
Okay, yeah.
It's the
lighting.
Yeah, it's the lighting.
Excellent.
The environment artist needs to pick up the lighting in here. All right, so we're going to be hopping into the CB33 Patch Notes. This is a pretty good patch, I think.
Hey, can you guys fix the lighting so my hair's black?
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait for it. We'll wait for it.
Yep.
I guess not. Okay, let's go.
It's not going to happen? All right. So we got a few things. We got a map. We got some stuff to look at. What do you want to talk about first? Or do you want to talk about your shirt?
You want the shirt first?
We can talk about your shirt. I mean,
Okay.
if we're already talking about the lighting, we can talk about the shirt.
I'm going to show you my shirt, and the first person to guess what it is will win free crystals.
I think it's High-Res Studios.
Not the back.
Oh,
Back of the
gotcha.
shirt.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, get a good shot of that. Let's make sure it's
Can you see
there.
it?
Yep, there it is.
Can you see it?
Does anyone know what the back of it is?
Okay.
It's not I Love Drybear.
If in chat,
Although I'll take that as an answer.
if you type in chat what it actually is,
It is white. He's got you there.
then Harris needs to pull his mic away.
It's not a ruckus skin.
Okay, if you type it in chat,
It's not arachnia.
what's that? Put the mic back.
Witch Doctor,
No,
ruckus, Champ, Mannequin, Spider Witch Doctor, Porn,
No.
Bill Nye the Science
All right.
Guy.
Ooh.
Oh, who was that? Who was
okay,
that? You gotta find him.
we
You
had
gotta
a
find
first
him.
one. We had a first one.
You gotta find him.
It's a global
It's
agenda
something
shirt.
global. It's a global agenda.
Find the first one.
Is that one of the first shirts we ever made?
This is the first shirt that was ever made in the studio.
Wow.
It's a global agenda robot
Global agenda robot.
that is skewering a murloc.
All right. We have been trolls ever since the beginning, and we have not changed, hopefully.
Global agenda.
Global agenda.
Yes. This is the first shirt ever made in
Ever
the
made.
studio.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is not the first shirt ever made in the studio. Not even close, actually.
All right. Now
Global
we're
shirt.
at 301, so we're in good shape.
All right. We
can start.
Good shape. So we should probably just start going through it. Do you want to talk about the champions or the map or the cards?
Where did it start?
We start with the map.
This is a big one.
The map's a good place to start, I think.
All right, let's do the map
Something
then.
pretty. Okay, so we did have a revamp for Enchanted Forest. This was a map that was in the game before. We pulled it out when Siege got revamped into 3 distinct sections. So if you're playing Paladins now, you know that you'll teleport in different areas of the map, and that allowed us to really bring in the gameplay space to make it tighter. So we can go ahead and hop into this map real quick. Show off the revamp for Enchanted Forest.
All right.
Actually, if you see my screen right now, you'll see something else.
It's not on there yet.
Something else.
Do we want to flip to that?
It's too late. There it is.
Okay.
All right. So just obviously, this is still a work in progress. The artists are still kind of getting all the fine touches on to make it look as awesome as it can. But obviously, this is the new layout for the match lobby. So we wanted to make sure that the characters are better highlighted. You get to see them a little bit better. It also means that the team comps are easier to see. So you'll see this. You kind of click through your head items and body items. Kind of swap through all those. Change your weapon. So all the iconography is there. And you can kind of look at your mounts. So just crisp it up, clean it up a little bit. Make sure the match lobby works. You're hopping into Enchanted Forest Siege, the revamp. So this will have 3 individual sections to look at. Oh, look at that. The new loading screen.
We dwarves are natural fighters. I just hope you lads.
So this is the new Enchanted Forest, one of the 3 points. So what we did, it's actually important to note that we did pull out the payload game mode out of this patch.
Yes.
But we didn't leave that content alone. So what we did is we merged a lot of the layout and some of the best things we liked about Enchanted Forest with Outpost. So you'll see some things you recognize from Outpost. You'll see some things you recognize from Enchanted Forest, split into this map into 3 different sections.
Now, I know people will be asking, why did we take out payload? And the reason we took a payload is because we want everybody to focus on the siege mode right now because we put ranked in. We want everybody to learn one way to play the game, and we wanted to clean that up and improve it as much as possible.
That's right.
So we can get that working perfectly well, and then we can go back and revisit what we want to do with the previous game modes.
Right. So we're focused mostly on Siege right now. Doesn't mean it's off the table, but we want to make sure that Siege is as good as it can be. So I'm running around here. This is one of the points. This is kind of the seaside point you'll see from the old Enchanted Forest. And then bits and pieces of outposts mixed in, some nice fighting areas. But you see that, I can't, previously you'd be able to kind of go out here. This has all been blocked off to focus the attack and the attention for the point into the center capture point and then back up to the end point. See, this kind of really nice, I call it the Highlander rise, as the, the Germanic barbarians climb the hill and start fighting. So this is the end point. Some nice god rays coming in. Props to the environment team for getting this map together so quickly. And then in the spawn room on the other side.
The forest is back and looking better than ever before.
And one thing we should mention as well, we have gone away from the portal spawn rooms.
Yeah, so we're going back to normal spawn rooms.
Normal spawn rooms.
And that's been in the cleanup phase throughout this patch.
That's right. Now, obviously, we want to make sure people understand where they're spawning, where they're going, so we will have individual spawn rooms for each section. There will be no need to portal anymore in order to get out to the area. So I can go ahead and end round, and I'll get to the next section. Teleport into the next area. Kaboom. Or not.
That's a weird teleport you got there, buddy.
That is...
I don't know where you are.
Try it again. No, so that's bugged out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end it. I'm going to hop out of there. There's Barrack.
Maybe showing them one is good enough.
Yeah, they get one. You'll kind of know what the other two are just based on the old Enchanted Forest and Outpost stitched together, and put that into good use.
That's right.
We also, so it's going to be played on the Siege game mode, and we are going to be removing payload, but revisiting that at a later date.
And Siege is back to 5 points.
Siege is back to 5 points.
So
and there's a reason for that.
The reason Siege is back to 5 points is because we modified the burn card system, which is no longer called burn cards.
Correct.
What is it now?
So burn cards, we took a look at those. We're talking a little bit about how they changed in a minute, but at a high level, we wanted to rename those to, number one, help distinguish those from the loadout cards, but also make it a little more familiar to players who are coming from other genres. They may recognize them. So they're actually called items now, and you will have 4 item slots when you hop into a game, and hopefully that helps people understand that you put cards into loadouts and you buy items during the game.
Are we able to show that at all?
We can show that.
Why don't we go in and give them a show?
Give them a show.
Let's see if they can switch the monitor also so we can show them the loading screen.
All right, there it is.
So this is the new screen. Just go to View Champs again. You can see it's broken down into 4 quadrants with the frontline or tank, damage, support, and flank. And when you select something from one of the quadrants, there is a check mark that comes up. So you know that if you want a nice balanced team comp, you should at least pick one from each category. Right. So, Drybear selected...
I selected a damage.
You selected Victor for damage.
That's right. So now we need a front line, a support, or a flank.
Ideally. And
we also renamed tank
to
to front line to better represent that not all of the tank frontline characters will be tanking themselves, like Barrack. He's more about defending with shields, but also to make sure that it's easier to understand in conversation between flank.
Like where they're supposed to go.
That's right.
You're mostly going up front.
That's right. So this is going to be the Glacier Keep. We put spawn rooms into this map as well. Still some things being worked out. So be aware that we are still putting some finishing touches here. But you'll see that you no longer have to go through a portal. You'll spawn in a spawn room. You'll see the outside. And then you'll be able to kind of get your bearings on where you are. But the important thing here is going to be the fact that we're going to look at burn cards.
Well, and the other thing is, in this particular patch, we're going to go with single loadouts. You only get to select one loadout at the start of the game.
That's right. So what you'll do is when you go into the game, you'll pop this up. You'll be able to select your loadout. And once you've selected it, you are locked in for the rest of the game. And there is a reason for that. So I'm going to preface that by saying we have put more emphasis into the item system to allow you to customize and counter in the game and less on the loadout. So the loadout is more about your play style, and then the items themselves are more about actually buffing your character or counting a strategy. So you'll notice right off the bat, you have 4 slots for your items. Again, I'm going to reiterate, previously called burn cards. These are now called items. On the right side of your screen, so instead of 3, there's 4. You can now have 1 in each category, and they start out at rank 1. I see a lot of people in chat actually mentioning aggression is back. That's right. So you will be able to get some damage dealt on your weapons with this card. So what will happen here is you'll be able to pick one of these cards. You'll eventually be able to get all of them for all slots. So let's say I'm running up against a Fernando and a Barrack and a Ruckus. There's too many shields. I want to counter it. I want to pick up Wrecker. I'm going to purchase that. Immediately you'll see there's a button above this item that allows me to upgrade it. So it's important to note that these items are not lost at the end of the round. These items are now permanent. You will be able to sell these back for half value if you want to, but you'll be having this for the entire game. So once you have record, you have record. Don't worry about it. So when you started with it, it's going to be 50% damage to shields. You will then be able to expend twice the value of that item in order to increase its stats, and it'll go up again. So I spent 300 to get Wrecker. I will then need to spend 600 again to increase the damage I deal to shields from 50% to 100% bonus.
Right.
So now if I'm really against a lot of shields and I'm stuck, I can't get past all these shield characters, I'm gonna buy Wrecker and I'm gonna spend all my credits on upgrading Wrecker, and then I can upgrade it again. So I can get to 150% bonus damage to shields, but it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
That's right. So I have to spend 300, then 600, and then 900 for the rest rank, which means I have to spend 1,800 credits to get that 250% total damage to shields.
But it is a very strong.
Yes.
It's very powerful. So you kind of have to decide, do you want to spread out your money across more rank 1, which you typically do more?
That's right.
And then upgrade as you go along.
Now, obviously, you will be able to, since there are 4 slots, you can get 1 in each. That rule is still there, so I can't get, say, Deft Hands and Aggression in the same characters. So once I have a attack item, I will be able to go to other slots and pick it. And some of these got buffed a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Master Rating goes to 60%.
I see that some people are getting confused. It's not 5, 10, 20% like in Aggression. It's 5, 10, 15%. So you're getting an increment of the same value that you initially got.
That's right.
But the cost gets significantly higher by going from 300 to 600 to 900 for that each stage.
It's a linear increase. So Master Rating would go 20, 40, 60. Chronos would go 10, 20, 30. It just increases that by the base amount every time you upgrade it up. And some of these are more expensive, obviously, if you want Deft Hands. We're going to decrease the value of these a bit on 400. But you need a lot of credits to get these really powerful, or you want to spread your cards out.
Right. So some of the pricing that you're seeing in this particular screen are the old prices, and it's still called burn cards. That'll change by the time this patch goes out.
Yep. This loadout thing will go away as you won't be able to select one at the start of the match. But our hope is that we're putting more emphasis onto the itemization to counter and get your in-match strategies. And then the loadout is only chosen once in the beginning of the game. You don't have to worry about it during the match. And it's more about specifying your specific play style rather than trying to counter the enemy's strategies.
Now, of course, if you want to get some defenses because you like the TTK to be a little bit higher, there's a 10, 20, 30%.
30% damage reduction.
Haven. So
that's a 30% increase in the TTK.
So if the other team went all direct damage,
yeah,
because they thought they're going to just blast you out, then you can invest in a higher level Haven.
That's right. And you can see if you ever get confused about what does what damage, if you go to the K screen, either on the main menu or in a match, you'll see it specified in all caps at the bottom of every ability that deals damage. So you can see Assault Rifle does direct damage, Frag Grenade does area damage, and then Barrage also does area damage. So if you're really wanting what to buy when you're on the burn card screen, whether it's area damage or direct damage, you'll be able to kind of look at these and figure it out as you look at other characters and get that settled down.
Now, I'm going to give people a tip with this.
Tip time.
Here's a tip.
This comes for free, right?
This is a free tip.
Wow.
But it's a good tip.
Okay.
Whenever an enemy is getting a streak, they're going to be worth a lot more credits.
That's right.
Credits are more important than ever.
That's right.
Right. So here's the thing. If you kill an enemy by yourself, you're the only one who gets credits. If you kill an enemy with your friends, they all get credits.
Right.
Now, I think they get half the value.
Mm-hmm.
So if your entire team pegged the guy because you went after him because he has like a 10 streak or something,
right,
and he's worth like 100 credits, let's say, your team value is much higher if you worked as a team and killed him than if you just soloed the guy.
So you're saying I shouldn't look for kills by myself?
I'm just saying that if you want to get more credits, work with your team to kill the high-end people. Free tip.
Hot tips for free.
Free tip.
So you see this is still the same point, but obviously with the addition of the spawn rooms there. The one other thing, too, is that we'll have to look at is the burn cards can be purchased anywhere. You don't have to be in the spawn room. You can upgrade them anywhere you want.
I'm not sure if we're keeping that or not.
Okay, we may or may not be doing that. Sounds
it
like
may
we
be just
we
in
won't.
the spawn room, if not.
Spawn room
else.
only. Never mind. I redact that statement. But yeah, so that will be the big piece there. You increase in price, you get bonus stats, and then obviously as the game goes on, you'll get stronger in your specific category and be able to kind of react and become more powerful. So if you got obviously rank 3 of the Deft Hands for reload speed on Androxus, obviously it's a lot of money to do so, but if you got there, that's a lot of reload speed for someone who can just Defiance or roll around or get some really kind of cool bonuses. So that's going to be that.
But mostly it's designed to be a strong counter system.
Right.
So if people are causing you issues with shields, with healing, with whatever else, you find you have ways to manage that during a match.
That's right. All right, well, since we're talking about counters and strategies and also the match lobby, one of the most requested features going into this patch is going to be a ability to show off how good I am at Paladins.
Well, do you want to show that, or since you're in here, do you want to show some of the classes and the changes
we
to
can
them?
show the classes.
Why don't we do a little bit of that? We'll save ranked for a little later.
Let's do Ying.
Let's do Ying. So let me just philosophically talk about some of the things that we've done.
Okay.
So really, we wanted to have, after seeing how the game is shaping up, we wanted to distinguish the various things that a player would be doing in a match and make sure we support the meta that's coming through.
Right.
Now, we've said in the past, we still don't want what we consider to be a dedicated healer, which is somebody that has a healing gun shoved up your butt and kind of running around with it.
That's right.
But we do want to have healing in the game. We've had healing with both Grock and with Pip, and we wanted to expand on that just so there's more classes available to do that.
Right.
Same thing with the frontline characters. We really wanted them to be stronger up front so they can defend the point.
Correct.
Much better than they have. The flanking characters, again, we want them to flank as much as possible.
That's right.
And the damage dealers should just sustain damage all the time. So that's our theory, and that's how we want to support the meta. And therefore, we're trying to adjust the classes to do those types of things.
That's right.
And this is the first pass at it, and I'm sure there'll be a variety of changes made along the way to accommodate it further. But just so everybody gets a sense, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, so when we walked in the match lobby, you saw that there was a support category for the characters, so be able to kind of have those heals there. Pip,
and
Grock represent that.
And the defining function for support is that they're able to heal.
That's right. So they have the ability to heal. And as you mentioned, we're not going to do a character that their primary weapon, which means the majority of their gameplay is just constantly heal-botting someone. But we want these characters to be able to have abilities or functionalities that keep their team alive or healthy in certain situations. But it's not their main thing. They still can shoot a weapon and hurt people. So the biggest thing, as I kind of teased a little bit during that, is we wanted to make Ying's weapon a little bit more accessible, but also be able to get some nice damage in a more reliable way. So she now is a 3-shot burst. So it means that, you know, before, one of the biggest complaints about Ying is that she had to get closer because her weapon had a shorter range, right? There's also instant fire, and you had to kind of channel on someone similar to Grock in a lot of ways. But now, since it's a projectile, she can sit almost anywhere in the fight, right? These projectiles will travel as far as they can until they hit a surface. So you'll have the ability to kind of really poke from range. You won't have to get in the fight and stay at a distance where Ying is more comfortable, right? She wants
and
to
they
stay
do
far
more
away.
damage than they did in the past.
They hit pretty hard. I believe they hit for 200 each, so 600 damage a shot for Ying, and she can hit pretty fast. So you kind of fill a space with projectiles, sit back with your team, and play that support role. One of the things we were concerned about is just Ying being forced to get too close when she was playing a support role and dying along the way. So along with that, I personally have been calling Ying Yang internally, just because we basically took everything that Ying was, kept the functionality, kept the abilities and the playstyle.
But we yanged her.
And we yanged her. So we flipped everything. So everything that she did before that used to attack enemies now targets allies and heals them. So when you spawn an illusion, it's still the same functionality. The illusion will then shoot beams at teammates or yourself. So if I go like this, she'll heal me. Right, and then they'll just hang out, they'll heal bot, they'll keep teammates alive, they'll be there as long as they are, and then I kind of keep people moving. And it's really just a nice, healthy thing. You can put them, you can still have 2 illusions down, you can still swap with them. So the difference there is, like, so if I swap, that still works, still has that instant reaction if you need it. And if anyone's low health nearby, she'll be able to heal bot and keep that alive. So those of you that really was looking forward to a support champion and playing that support healing playstyle, Ying will be one of those options. Now, the other thing, too, is obviously, like I said, Ying is now Yang. Her Shatter used to explode, dealing damage. Now what it does, it'll explode and heal all allies in an area. You can see the explosion is now green rather than the previous kind of aggressive pink-red that it was before. So if I go damage health and I Shatter, I'll get a big burst of heal there. And so she's basically on spawning illusions that heal people, shattering them to keep them alive. Now, one of the functionalities we had before on the damage side of things is they would run towards an enemy and then explode. It's actually more assistive here on Ying. So if there's an ally in range for her explosion, it will explode immediately. If there's not, say they're really far away, and you're about to waste that illusion, mainly because it's just really difficult to know where all your teammates are, all your illusions are. It's a lot to keep track of. So if I go damage health here, if there's no one in range for the illusion to explode and heal someone, that's when they will do their kind of AI assistive maneuver where they'll try to find an ally to heal. So if I'm really far away here and explode, they'll run towards me, boom, I'm in range and they'll heal me. So it's just a smart assistive system that allows you to kind of put illusions down where you need to, defend the fight, poke, get some nice kind of assistive damage there as a support, pop these to heal, and then swap around, kind of get that action going there. So I pop up energy, I'll show the ultimate real quick. So if I had, so obviously Ying is now Yang. The ultimate before used to spawn a crystal on every enemy champion on the map that would then shoot at them, dealing damage, and then you could shatter them to deal damage in an AoE. Since Ying is now Yang, if I had an ally here, let me go get a Cassie going. Oh, I need to pre-cache. 1 second. There she is. So I have an ally, Cassie, and if I pop my ultimate,
time to take charge.
crystal right next to her, these will shoot at the allies and heal them, and when I shatter, they will heal. However, you had a caveat, because this is friendly now, though they don't get consumed when you shatter. So you can shatter multiple times before the duration is up and they go away. So if you get cooldown reduction on Ying, it's always been a good strategy for her to build cooldown reduction. You can shatter it once or twice. If enough cooldown reduction you can maybe get 3 shatters on it, so a lot of healing AoE explosion there. But obviously the enemies can destroy them and keep that. So she's very support oriented. She still plays the same way. She just now focuses more on teammates than she does on enemies.
Right. So basically, her damage, we increased her in-hand damage, and we changed her abilities to be healing based.
Right.
And we'll see how you guys like it.
So obviously, if those of you really wanted that support role, Ying is going to be an option for you, and we look forward to hearing your feedback on that front. So speaking of support, we can go over.
We could have given her an ult stance where she could be Yin or Yang.
Oh.
And then she can either do the damage with them
or the healing.
The healing.
Oh my gosh.
We got to write that down.
Okay, got it.
Maybe we'll do Yin Yang for the next one.
Yin Yang. Okay, over to Grover. So Grover is now a support. You can see already that I'm healing targets nearby. So, you know, one of the things. So let me ask this: Grover is no longer a melee character, right? So we took a look at him as a melee character and we swapped him to throwing axes.
Some people will hate Grover, but I love the new Grover.
So
it's just so fun to toss axes. I mean, I can't get over it.
So there is no ammo count, no reload, and he is just an axe flinger.
Axe flinger. And the further the axe goes, the more damage it does.
That's right.
And these are not like little damage axes.
No, they can hit upwards of 1,000.
Can you put somebody in and show them? Ooh, look at that.
So the further away I get, the harder it hits. So no longer do I have to worry about getting close to targets. Again, playing as a support, I want to make sure that I'm there for my teammates and in the right position to keep them alive. So now I can just kind of sit back, sit with my team, and then throw some axes.
Or you can throw a horizontal axe.
I can. So my right click is now going to be a crippling throw. So I'm going to throw it sideways. Does very little damage, but it's crippled the target. So if, let's say this Cassie's over here being attacked by someone, I can just throw the crippling axe, keep them in spot. They can't chase, like if it's Androxus or Sky, they won't be able to get on that target, especially Eevee, right? I can peel for my teammates, keep them alive, throw some axes and murder some people from long range.
Now, the axes are kind of slow. People might be concerned about them, but they're fairly easy to avoid if you're paying attention.
They're really big, really obvious, and really slow. So he's really just about kind of hitting people hard if he's successful in doing it.
By the way, that sound is a little too much. We're going to need to, like...
We'll tone it down.
Tone it down a little bit.
It's pretty aggressive.
Well, the length of it is...
That's right.
It's long.
So his Q now is called Blossom. So what it is, it's just kind of a passive healing aura. So you'll see that Cassie's nearby getting healed. It's just passive. And so the active version of it is anytime I want to hit Q, I'll hit Q. A big AoE explosion will go around me. That just on the target hit. AoE explosion goes around me and gets a big burst heal and goes on cooldown, but the passive will still tick. So it's really kind of just some very light healing going around. And if I get close to targets, I can do a big burst, which heals them all to keep them up. And so the whole time I'm kind of finding around. I'm throwing crippling strikes to peel for my teammates. I'm poking people with axes. I see Cassie's getting low over here. I can run over. I can pop my Blossom cooldown, heal that up, and kind of keep playing that support role and being part of that. The last piece is going to be the ultimate. The ultimate used to be a big spin where you'd hit all people with the axes, getting closer to targets and dealing damage to them. It is now very similar to the Ying rework, focused more on teammates because Grover is a support kind of druidic treant champion.
And does massive healing on his ultimate.
That's right. So if I kind of have a low health target nearby, I can pop the ultimate.
Spring has come.
Really? We kept that?
So he'll grow up and
we kept that animation.
Apparently we did.
Can we put a note to see if we can have the tree grow in like that? Help!
Spring has come.
Oh my God! All right.
So he will now do very, very aggressive healing in an area around him for a short period of time. I'm talking about like.
I can't get past that big tree dancing like.
Spring has come.
All right, we're gonna have to leave it because it's a good troll.
Spring
One more time.
has come.
Oh my God! He's jumping around dancing.
So his ultimate is very aggressive healing in an area around him.
Yeah, we've got the LGBTs thing going for us.
So he will do very aggressive healing around him. I'm talking about large amounts, so about 2,500 healing a second. So really, unless you can one-shot the people in Grover's area around him, they will not die. I mean, they're just healing so fast.
So it's a tree with an axe that's flamboyant.
Yeah, spring has come. So if Cassie was dropping really low here to pop my ultimate,
Has come.
and then it would just heal very, very quickly so the teammates can't die inside of it unless they get one shot. So if Kinessa pops her ultimate and headshotted like a squishy Eevee and one shot her, she would go down, but the rest of the time,
I can't even hear what you're saying. I literally can't even.
Should I give one more?
Give us one last one.
More. I can.
One last one. Come on. Come on. Give me one last one.
Spring
Oh, yeah.
has come.
All right. Good enough.
All right. So
Moving on.
That is Grover. So Grover did get that rework. Now, the second to last, I guess, we can switch over to, if we're going to do support, actually, we can quickly cover Grock. It wasn't as big of a change as Grover or Ying, but we did make an adjustment to his ultimate.
And his right click.
And his right click. So the right click used to bounce around as an initial shock pulse that kind of led to get the targets into your chain lightning first. We have removed the portion where you could shoot after the fact on marked targets and bounce your main hand between them. We felt that as a support character, he should be more focused on healing characters, spreading characters out, and doing minor to moderate AoE damage, but not enough to just really shred everybody as a damaged character would. So you can still do the bounce. So if I do put another Cassie here, and get this. So it'll still bounce, but if I shoot afterwards, nothing happens. So it's no longer about the AoE.
Does it do a slow or something else?
It does put a slow on it. So, Grock's more about healing and getting debuffs on target, so his right click, you see that they'll get slowed there. So he's really kind of just spreading out the, it's not as much damage, obviously, but it's more about the debuff. So he'll slow a lot of targets, making sure that his teammates are in a good spot and also are able to get kills in the right spot. So Grock will be less about doing lots of AoE damage and killing targets, and more about keeping his team alive and spreading debuffs to influence the fight, as a support would. And the other piece for him is we have tweaked his ultimate a little bit. If I pop my ultimate here, the ultimate used to
just do a lot of damage.
Used to just do a lot of AoE damage. We felt that as a support, he should be more focused on focus on the team fight, making sure his team is alive. So the ultimate now will still target enemies. You see it does a lot less damage. It's about enough to kill Cassie if you do the whole thing on her. But the big thing now is it will also target teammates and heal them. So you just run to the fight. There's a bunch of allies and enemies.
Does that have a buff and debuff also?
It'll apply a movement speed buff to the ally. It'll apply a movement speed slow to the enemies. It'll heal the ally, and it'll damage the enemy. So it's really just about jumping in the fight, getting a bunch of movement speed bonuses, a bunch of, you know, kind of slows, some damage and healing, and really just kind of keeping your teammates alive and debuffing the enemy.
Yeah, the idea with him is that you have a big, massive team fight, and he runs in the middle, slowing all the enemies, damaging them, speeding up all your friends, and healing them, and wildly going in between them.
He's just a really super support that just kind of comes in and takes it all down. So really big update there for him. Hi. Hello.
And I think he's also getting a slight nerf to his movement, right?
Yeah, the Ghost Walk will cooldown will go up a bit to kind of make sure he's not too survivable, especially with the healing of the healing tome. Also, this is a very minor thing. It might be kind of pet peeve for some people out there, so I'm going to mention really quickly. We have also improved the hit registry for the totem, so it's a little bit easier to hit as an enemy. We found an issue with just the way that it was kind of getting hits on it, so it'd be a little bit easier to target now than it was before, if that was a complaint from some people.
All right, next.
The second to last one, actually, there's one more to look at, one of my favorites. So we'll look at Ruckus next. So we took a look at Ruckus and his overall playstyle. Generally, we liked the spin-up for him. It felt like it was miniguns overall from the main hand, but we felt that people were spinning up all the time and not really using abilities or positioning. So his right-click is now going to be his just regular shield. If I pop my right click, I'll get my emitter up. He still has to spin up, but he spins up much faster, so he'll have that little bit of lead time. If you catch Ruckus off guard, he won't be spun up right away, but he won't have to hold down his right click the entire time. He'll have another ability that he can use to be more on that front line status. So he'll have the shield kind of spin up a little bit, still has the damage there. Now you'll see that my Q, which is my new ability, is not available right now. This is something that's really important to stress, and we hope that, you know, as players kind of get in, they can figure this out as they play.
And we'll
Ruckus.
see how it works out.
Yep, and we're going to be evaluating this as this plays, and obviously open to your feedback and looking for your feedback how this plays. But the Q is not available right now. As Ruckus is a frontline champion, we felt that people were playing him more as a kind of carry assassin, and we want to kind of help him be that frontline role for his team. So similar to Ying and Grover getting that support play style into the game and kind of represented by the character and what you're supposed to do, we've done that with his Q ability. So his Q is only available when you're standing near an objective. So you say, I stepped on the objective, I now have my Q available. What this will do is I will pulse a big AoE, and myself and any ally that's in range when I do that is now going to have 60% reduced damage for the next period of time. I think it's 5 seconds. So it's a large amount of damage reduction. You'll get really, really tanky.
You probably need an effect on the screen for that.
That's right. So we're missing that part. But we're going to walk up here so you have this. So while you're standing on the point and you're kind of defending teammates, shooting people off the point, as people come closer and closer and you have a support on you like a Grover or a Ying or a Grock, you can pop this and get a really big damage reduction buff on top of that, and it just helps you stay on the point because you're buffing yourself. So now he has damage reduction and a shield. So it's really good for Ruckus to stand on the point and kind of tank for his team, be that frontline character. But obviously, if any teammates want to get on the point with him, it's really easy for them to kind of come in with Ruckus. He pops his Q and he defends the objective and plays the actual objective as he should as a frontline character. So just fitting into that role a little bit better.
And then the last tank.
The last tank.
Alt. Barrack.
Oh, Barrack. We skipped that one. There's more than I remembered. So Barrack doesn't have the giant turret anymore, but he still has a giant thing. So again, since Barrack is frontline, we wanted to fit him into that role a little better. The dome shield is coming back. So Barrack will have his normal shield to kind of keep the point defense, but if they're about to capture the point, I gotta get there in time, I gotta defend it, he's gonna run up.
Last one standing.
The dome shield is there, and the flame turret is now back inside of it. So
Dome shield is back.
So if anyone gets close to the dome shield, the flame turret will spew hot fire on them and burn them down, and really just kind of helps them defend the point and play that objective a little bit better.
Last one standing wins.
See if I can get
That is a flamethrower turret.
Last one standing wins.
There's that fire, and actually we updated it so it only goes to the edge of the shield. Let's see if I can get this right.
Last one standing wins. Last one standing
Sorry, a little bit aggressive there. But you can see that it doesn't shoot outside the shield. It used to, but we updated that so it actually lines up exactly with the edge of the shield. So if you're in the shield, you get put on fire. If you're not, you don't. Pretty
Sounds
clean.
good.
Okay, we actually have the last one, which is one that we've been wanting to get to for a while, is going to be Buck.
Oh, Buck, I forgot about that.
So we updated Buck's ultimate. We did recently in a previous patch update his ult to Buck Wild, which removed the giant shield and also gave him that kind of cool cooldown burst. We wanted to amp that up some more to make him feel like he is that flank character, and when his ultimate is up, he can burn some targets down. So he will be able to pop his ult and get double damage on his weapon for 6 seconds, I believe. So really scary. So in that moment, he just pops it, goes buck wild, starts killing everyone. When he activates the ultimate, he will reset all of his active cooldowns. So if his jump is on cooldown, his net's on cooldown, pops his ultimate, goes buck wild, gets double weapon damage, and then resets his net and his jump so he can jump again if he has to. The reason I haven't switched to him yet is the next thing we changed for him, and I want to preface this as we go into it, is we did make an update to Buck's weapon. So again, as we get closer and closer to more of a polished Paladins, focusing on the polish overall, we want to make sure that all the gameplay is very clear and also very easily represented. So you kind of, when you look at it, okay, I get what that does, and I'm really satisfied when I use it.
Are you going to show it?
When we took a look at Buck's weapon, we felt that the weapon didn't really represent a shotgun at all.
Come on, Bart, move on.
So here is Buck. He got a shotgun update. This is the new shotgun for Buck. So he now has a pump shotty. So previously, it was really hard to know whether it was a shotgun or not. It didn't look like it, so it was something that just an old piece of content we wanted to redo. We wanted to do it for a long time. So this is the new pump shotgun for Buck, and it does have pump action, which means you have a progressive reload. So you put one shell in at a time, and one of my favorite parts about this is the sound it makes when you shoot it. So let's go ahead and just go over here and shoot somebody. One shell at a time, you load all the way up. So welcome to the new Buck, everybody. So you will have to pay that reload time, but it also means that he's the only character in the game right now that can get a partial reload. So he can actually shoot once, shoot twice, reload once, interrupt, shoot again. If you really kind of get, wait for someone to show up. Oh, someone just showed up, stop it early and shoot. And it plays just like a pump shotgun, but really some kind of heavy shots to it. One thing to mention as well, the first shell you put in is a little slower than the rest of them. So once you're already there pulling the shells in, it goes a little faster. But that's just so you don't kind of straddle on one shell at a time. You kind of have to pay at least that first cost to kind of play it. But it's pretty sweet. And also one of the cool things, and this is something as we kind of look at weapons and on some of the new characters, we really want to get cleaner representation of your abilities in the first person experience as well. So you'll notice that on the top right of the shotgun, there's these bolas that actually represents his net. So when the net comes out, it'll be the bolas that go there. But you'll notice that while the net is on cooldown, the bolas will, actually, that's a bug. They're not supposed to be there. So when his net's on cooldown, the bolas will be gone. And then when it comes back, the bolas will appear. So visually, you'll get a physical representation of when the net is available and when it's not. We hope to do that with a lot of weapons going forward. And the art team has done a fantastic job with this weapon. We hope that you enjoy it as well.
And Buck is still a combo character, and we'll see how that plays out. So really, because he's supposed to be more of a bursty flanker.
Right.
He's more about the land on somebody, net them, and shoot them, and he will kill them fast.
So I'm going to go ahead and show what you can do with the ultimate. I'm going to go jump, put my jump on cooldown, do the net, pop my ultimate, and go.
The wind-up!
There's a 1600 with a headshot. And when I pop my ultimate, obviously everything goes on cooldown, but then I have to pay the big reload cost. So if I really want to, in the moment, I can jump, land on the ground. I'm going to throw my net out. Oh, I'm on cooldown. Pop the ultimate. Everything resets. Back to it. There's the net. And I get in trouble. I can run away while I'm reloading. So there's the new Buck with a big pump shotgun. And he's got the shotgun flip into the double damage ultimate. So hopefully he just feels like a big shotgun character. And there's that.
1,000 damage is only during his ultimate.
Only during the ultimate. That's right. Ultimate gives you double weapon
All right,
damage.
we got a few more things to go over.
We do.
Let's move on.
So we have...
Because we still have to talk about the burn card system.
We showed this
no,
too.
we showed the burn card system already.
We have emotes in the game.
Oh, emotes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so at any time during the game, you can press B. Right now, this is just the first rollout of the system. We're going to have one default emote per character. So you just, during the match, you can press B. When you kill someone, you can taunt them. Every character has a default one that they play. And then later, in future patches, we'll be adding other options for emotes that you can acquire and use on specific characters. But let's say I kind of jump in, kill this Cassie, and I thought I'm really cool. I'm going to give him a nice flex, because I'm a buff man. So there's that. So every character will have their own ones, and we'll have other options for later.
To remove the reticule.
Yeah, we do. Still a couple things to fix, but yeah, you can kind of spin around and look at the front if you want to. It locks your camera. These are cancelable at a certain point, so you kind of cancel out of it and get moving.
B for BM.
B for BM. One thing to mention as well, this is kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. But we have.
We need to sell a teabag emote.
Teabag
It's like
emote.
$1,000.
What if we had like a nice like old sage guy that likes drinking tea, and he pulls out a tea bag and drops it on their head?
That's okay, but the $1,000 full teabag emote?
I can't see on this screen, but actually, do we have anything else in the game? That's probably good enough for the game. We can hop out. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick end this.
You guys do want to see ranked, right?
Well, we can look at the.
What else we got?
So we did do the last patch. We added in the 4x4 grid for all the cards and loadouts. One thing we did in this patch, we worked very hard to add a lot of cards to the game. So now we are happy to say that all the current champions launched in Paladins do have exactly 16 cards. So if you really wanted to add them, you have the whole thing filled out for everyone. We had a couple characters that were lagging behind, didn't have enough cards. So we filled that all in. You have those cards there. And the other feature, which is really cool since we're talking about it, there's a new button here, Aris.
Import.
What's import?
That's if you look at your favorite streamer and you want to copy their deck, it's really easy to do.
So, here's a good one. Since I know he's in the audience. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go loadouts. You're saying, oh man, I just watched the tournament. I want Stolzy's
Let's do it.
and Drox's deck.
Let's look at his decks.
It won't work here on Dev, but
Yeah, we don't have
so
that.
if you say, watching your favorite streamer,
Then we're on Dev.
pro player, this is something that, fans that are fans of esports, watching tournaments on the weekend, you're like, man, I love Androxus. Stolzy plays a bunch of Androxus. I feel like he knows the character better than I do for the builds. I want to know what he does. So you can go to your loadouts. You can click on the loadouts here.
Get off my deck.
Stolzy's like, no, don't take it. So if you really want to do it, it's better than going to a website and looking for guides or anything like that. Right in the client, look at your own deck. You can hit import, find a character, and go to Dry Bear.
Dry Bear has no deck.
I'm deckless apparently. So you kind of browse
Go to
that.
Wet Bear.
There it goes. Let's see. Go to my Pip. So I have a loadout for Pip. So I'm gonna go import and go to Dry Bear. And so I can see all the loadouts Dry Bear has made. At the top, you'll see the name of the deck, and then you'll see the character or the player that you imported that from. And you'll see, okay, he's got all these decks. I want this one. I'm going to port that in. Look at that. Boom. There's my loadout I just got from Dry Bear from Dev Pip. And I have it already built out in the same distribution. I don't have to think about it.
And if you don't own the cards, you can actually buy the cards right there in the spot.
That's right. So I'm missing, like, let's say I'm missing from above. It'll say, hey, you imported the deck, but you're missing from above. Would you like to pay this amount of gold to unlock that card and get it? But a little bit easier to kind of learn the character.
Now, I'm not sure if it's going into this particular patch or the next one, but we will have that feature also available from the leaderboards.
Oh,
Where you
wait,
can go-
leaderboards?
Where you can go to the leaderboards, look at the decks from the top guys on the leaderboards, and copy their decks.
There's a leaderboard?
There's going to be a leaderboard.
Oh, my. Well, that's probably a good segue to talk about it then.
I'm not sure you can show that feature, but
We can get close.
You can
So,
talk about it.
In this patch, we did mention it before. If I go to play here, you'll notice there is a casual and there's a ranked. So we're adding ranked to the game. Ranked will be available. Now, there's a couple things to talk about here. We had some cool new kind of spins on the system, but it's very default. You will have a match lobby draft system. You'll have ranked. You'll climb in rating, and you'll get better and better and get players that are near your skill level and kind of go that way. It'll have a 1-by-1 draft.
So just a few things first. Number one, it's only a solo queue. You
Right.
cannot queue up with your friends. This is the best solo player go up in the leaderboards.
Right.
None of this friends carrying you to a higher level
Solo
than you should
only.
be. The second thing is you've got to have enough champions with a level 4 mastery to show that you know at least how to play them, basically.
That's right. So
And-
Mastery 4 on that champion to use it.
So you need at least 12 characters, I believe.
That's right.
With Mastery 4.
Mastery 4 each.
Mastery 4 each in order to play them.
That's right. So you got to be, obviously you got to be high enough. You got to be skilled with enough champions to play in order to get in there. Now, there will be a draft system, but there will be no bans. So initially, because we only have 17 champions, we didn't want to have any bans to start. We're looking at that to see if we want to add any.
Yeah, we may
but-
add one band.
One band.
in the near future.
That's right. So initially in this first launch for CB33, there won't be any bans, but you won't be able to have the same champion on both teams. So if we're on opposite teams and I pick Fernando, you won't be able to pick
Are
Fernando.
we able to show this?
We can, but I'm by myself.
Oh, okay.
So
All by
it'll
myself.
just look weird.
Okay.
But it'll be just like the normal draft, but you'll be able to kind of alternate between teams. You'll get turns picking. So it'll be the first team picks
Very
one.
similar to Smite.
It's very similar to Smite. So first team picks one, second team picks two, and then two and two, and then alternates until you're all done. But it allows you to obviously see what they're picking, counter it along the way. There will be no duplicates, which means that if I play Barrack, then the enemy team now can no longer get Bellic, and they'll have to adjust their strategy to match it. So that's the big part of it. But along with that, we have our own cool little twist. Being that this is a character game, we kind of looked at it and felt that, you can be really good at certain
Show
other
it, Bart.
characters.
Show it. Well, I can show. Did we even have overview before?
I don't think so.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know
can
if
go
it's the
to
stream.
here. Nope, I can't. We saw it a little bit earlier, but so on these champions, do I have any? Yeah, okay, there we go. So we felt that, let's say I played nothing but Androxus, but I'm really bad at Sky. If I'm playing a high-level match and I switch to Sky, I'm not going to be as good or as influential if I switch to Sky than if I played Androxus. So we are actually going to have individual ranking per champion, and they'll each have their own leaderboard. So you can actually be up on the Androxus leaderboard, and you can even beat Stolzy and get to number 1 when he's number 10 on the overall world Androxus leaderboard. And it's per character. And you'll see how you have provisional games, ranked games. You can only do this during ranked matches,
Yes.
right? So you'll have to be in a ranked match to get progress on these. You'll see their mastery. You'll see your individual rating. You can see, the dev ratings for some of these characters, 1632 on Ying. But this dev account is really bad at Kinessa, Drogos, right? So those kind of
This
pieces there.
dev account.
He just reset it yesterday.
This dev account.
Why are there so many at 1375, Ares?
I don't know. 1500 is about the midway, I believe.
I don't know. Something broke. Something broke. These are all the same numbers. So on this dev account, you'll see your MMRs per character. Obviously, as you play characters more than others, you'll start to get higher and higher. But that means that, number 1, you're going to be able to kind of show off how good you are at certain characters and feel that you'll be able to progress with those characters, get better and better. So if you say, I'm the best Androxus in the world, and it's no longer just saying that, right? There's proof. You can actually go to leaderboard, you can check it out, you can see who the best Androxus are, and if you feel like I'm number 9 on the leaderboard and I want to be number 1, you know who to beat and you know who to play to get there. You can play a bunch of Androxus and get there. So there's more incentive to get good at certain champions and also more ways to show that off to other players, and you also get rankings. So just like in normal ranked systems, you'll have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters for every champion. So you see you start out with bronze. You could potentially climb up to masters Androxus, even if you're not on the leaderboard. You can do diamond Androxus, even if you're on the leaderboard, and say, okay, I'm really good at Androxus, I can show that off. And then when you go into the actual match lobby, you'll see it on the frames around the champions themselves. So we can hop in a quick match and show that off. Since I am bronze on Androxus on this account, you'll see, here's all the ones. These are all the unranked borders, and this is a bronze border. And so as they go up higher and higher, the diamond border's all, crystalline and has diamonds really thick on it. Looks really cool. The Masters one's even cooler. So as they go up, you get to show off how good you are specific champions. And then when you do the loading screen, when you lock them in the match lobby, and when you see the scoreboard in match, you'll see those rankings for each individual player with that champion, not necessarily as an account.
And we're also going to show the number, your mastery number in the frame, I believe, right?
That's right. So we'll have a mastery number at the bottom so you can see what mastery level they are and also what ranking they are with that champion. So it's also just a ton of incentive to get good at champions and play new ones. But the cool part about it is when you're playing a game, we will match make you based on your account just to make sure the matches are really even. But at the end of the match, we'll look at what champion you were playing, what rating you are with that champion, and then adjust how many points you should get based on what you're playing, right?
Right. So if you play with a bunch of people that are playing their worst champions, and you guys lose the match,
right,
you're not going to lose anywhere as many points as if they're all playing the best champions and you lost the match.
That's right. But if you play a new champion or a champion you don't play a lot, that you're just not as good with. Let's say I don't play a whole lot of Barrack, but when the time comes and I'm playing a match and I feel like, okay, my team really needs Barrack right now, and hop on Barrack. If I win that match, I get a lot more.
That's true.
Because I was playing a character I'm not that good at, and so it encourages you to play new champions and get better at new champions without the fear that you'll lose a bunch of rating for doing so.
Right. The border will be shown on the loading screen, somebody asked.
That's right. So you'll be able to see on the loading screen what rating there are with each individual one, so you'll kind of build from there. So a big piece. So a lot of kind of champion ranks that come with that. And then the leaderboards and be able to pull that through. So that's kind of the big rank system. We hope that, obviously people have been asking for ranked for a long time. One of the cool things too, we can mention real quick since we're in the match. So right now, I have this cool crosshair. This is something that internally we've wanted for a very long time. We added our first pass system in it. He hates it when I talk.
You're barding me.
I'm barding you so hard. So if you go to options, you can see there's options here for your reticle. This is a first pass, very simple, but we want to have some options there. All FPS players like adjusting their crosshair. So you'll be able to adjust whether it blooms or not if you're playing a shotgun character or kind of machine gun character, you'll be able to adjust that. And then you'll be able to kind of adjust the color of the crosshair to your preferences. There's actually a lot of options here for color. I played a lot of CS. I like green. I'm going to switch it to green. So I'm going to switch to green here. You can see my crosshair is now green. But maybe I'm feeling really, really cool today, so I want to play a purple. I'm going to switch to purple. Now my crosshairs are a nice purple. We also increased the kind of stroke of the kind of black lines behind the crosshair, so it's easier to see on lighter environments as you're aiming. So you got some nice customization options for your crosshair. Nice polish element there. And that is kind of the majority of it. The last one is a bit of an adjustment to matchmaking.
Which one?
Regions.
Automatic ping-based matchmaking.
So I'm going to go ahead and quick end this game here real quick. You know, as we were in early stages of closed beta, we put in a system that allowed, you know, when the numbers of players went lower during the week, you know, during the weeknights or on certain days, it would combine regions to make sure that you could still get a match. And then you would set a region down here. So let's say you set it to North America. If there was no one playing on North America, there's a bunch of people playing on Europe, it would put you on a European server so you could at least get a match. As we start to grow the game,
there is
more
no
and more,
new game mode in this patch.
No new game mode.
There's a new map, no new game mode.
So in this patch, we've removed the option to set a region, and what's going to happen now is basically when you enter a match, it will find the 10 people in that match and pick the best possible server based on where they are and their ping and everything. So it'll always try to find the best match regardless of what region you set.
Oh yeah, and Droxus, how many dashes does he have?
He has 3 now.
And Droxus has 3 dashes. No cross region, it just does it automatically now. So the more players are in your region during your time, the much higher likelihood that your ping will be better.
Yep.
No Fernando changes.
I see Mick in chat. This is a good thing to mention if we want to bring it back to the game. So Mick and a lot of programmers and the tech artists put a lot of work into kind of revamping the way you view champions in the main menu. During the match lobby, you'll see from waist up, so you can see what they look like. But since you have the option to customize the head and the body and the weapon, we wanted to have the full character viewable so you can see what the skin does, what it looks like, and all those pieces. So shout outs to the art team, tech artists, and then Mick and all the engineers that put this together. So you'll be able to see and spin all the champions in the main menu, see what they look like, see what the skin looks like. So if you always wanted to know what the back of, you know, Purple Barrack looked like, you can do that. But it also means that you can look at individual pieces too. So if you go to weapons, you'll be able to look at the weapons individually, spin them around, and kind of look at what it does to the weapon. You can click on to pull that together. Yeah, it's a good one. We can go to Buck.
If you queue up with your friends, it's going to look for what the majority of the people's ping is at. So you can queue up with your friends from anywhere, but you'll have obviously a combination of pings.
Here's the Buck shotgun in all its glory. See the little Buck kind of peering at you in the top left corner. It's actually a last minute edition, but it looks really cool.
Grock.
So what would be a good one, I guess? Cassie. Cassie has a nice skin. We're all working on new skins to show, but you can see that there is the Cassie. If you ever want to look what the cape looked like on the back, the Vampire Slayer. So you've got, let's say, a set that skin. I want a new weapon. Let's see. Kind of like this Demon Hunter Vampire Slayer bow. I'm going to equip that. I'm going to go back to skins. You can see that it's updated here so I can see the whole thing all at once. And then for the characters that do have head options, like Pip, you can kind of set to normal, set to the goggles, change that. And obviously, as we kind of expand this system out and get all the champions caught up to the head system, you'll be able to customize and kind of build all the looks you want, pick the right weapons, and put it all together.
And no more Brazil server spam. In about a month, you will have Brazil servers. A lot of servers are going to be added in about a month from now. All over. There'll be some in the Far East. There'll be some in South America. There'll be some in a host of new places.
Trying to get more support. Okay, at this point, that's all we got. You want to do Q&A?
I think that's enough. No, we just need to get back to work now.
Just to get back to work? Done.
Yeah. We love you all.
We did it.
Thank you for staying with us, and there should be a lot more to come, so enjoy this patch that hopefully will be should be live
this week.
This week.
Yep.
And we'll see you on the battlefield there.